Hello and welcome back to Tiny Table Talks. We're here every week on Spotify and YouTube, so be sure to check us out. We're also on Instagram at the CC Zone. Last week, the Tiny Table Talks team had a discussion about style and the way our personal aesthetics have been affected or maybe stayed the same during this pandemic. This week, the team is going to talk about back to school, considering that a few of us are ready to start a new semester this September, and we're probably going into it facing a lot of changes. We also figured that transitioning into back to school would be a good way to end our season for Tiny Table Talks as a whole. As always, we're adhering to social distancing, so our discussion was held entirely on Zoom. So here we are now, discussing back to school. My name is Ariana, and I'm in the Zoom with 3 people.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. I'm Maeva, and I'm here for the last episode of season 3.
Hi guys, Ben, tall guy, weird clothes, usually weird burst of randomness come out of my mouth. You know the gist at this point, right? Okay, let's do this.
Hey guys, I'm Sabrina. I'm excited for the last episode and excited to go back to school, kinda. That's what we're talking about today.
You will be excited to go back to school until you walk through the doors of your first classroom on day 1.
Yeah. And get your
That's
homework.
how it
Yeah, I'm gonna be at home. So instead of, basically the way I see, instead of like sleeping in my in the theater room in one of my classes, I'll just be sleeping in my bed. Still a technical
That's
lecture,
nice.
but sleeping.
Just as stressed, if not more. So.
So just to establish everything for this episode, who's going back to school?
Oh yeah, me, right? Because this is a
I am.
podcast, and sometimes people can't see us.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. So Ben and Sabrina, for those of you who are
I'm going back to
listening.
school. Is that clear enough?
Yeah.
And so is Sabrina, maybe, unless that theater floor just seems too damn good and she falls asleep there for 3 months.
Oh no, I was just basically asleep for like most of my classes in university. So anyway.
So where are you two going?
I'm going to trapeze school. Long-time dream of mine. Not to be a trapeze artist, no. Though it's they actually have a really good political science program. Little known fact. No. But once again, just moving on past that stupid joke. I'm going to George Brown College in the wonderful land of downtown Toronto, and I'll be taking a 2-year program in film.
Nice.
Yay.
Nice.
Fun.
So are you going to be going like downtown?
No, unfortunately, COVID is still trending. So, I'm pretty sure the entire first semester is going to be online, which is still just a bummer, though, because it's a 4-semester program. So a quarter of it will now be done completely online by the looks of it.
Yeah.
But you know what they say, better to be doing Zoom calls than dead.
Well,
Yeah, hopefully it's all the pre-production stuff too. So then,
Yeah, exactly. And like a lot of it to begin with, I think is a lot of like English, a lot of like film studies, just like
that's
a
always
lot of the
good.
theories about it. So, everyone's favorite aspect of film.
I love that aspect of film.
I do. I like it. I like it too. Like, don't get me wrong. This is not like the first like kind of film related classes that I'm going to be taking. But I want to mess around with the awesome cameras too.
I'm going to be going into my second year at Ryerson University for business management. So it's a 4-year program. Kind of like, well, it's what it is.
Yeah. Damn. So we'll be working like we'll be studying like what, like a 15-minute walk from each other.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, if we were both down there.
Yeah, we will be studying 4 subway stops away from each other, or is it? Or it's like 3 actually. No, it's 2. Right. Cool. I'm gonna come bother you all the time then.
Yeah, no, you should like definitely come over. There's not much to see, but there's a lot to eat.
True.
I'm studying.
So I guess Sabrina, what changes for you for school this year?
It's going to be all online, which it's not too much of a change because last semester, the end of it was moved like completely online, although it was pretty rushed. But I think it's still going to follow like a similar format, so it's not going to be too much change for me, really. Yeah.
Are the two of you living from home, and is that something new or is that something you've always done?
It's kind of new, but it's kind of not. So for most of when I was at University of York U, The last couple of years I've been doing that, studying marketing. I was mostly up on campus. I was staying at a house in what's called the Village with a couple of my really close friends there, and then we moved out of it at the beginning of summer last year. But I still had just one extra semester to finish up, so I did that from home and I commuted. So, like, in the grand scheme of things, it's still pretty new. But in recent memory, I've been working from home for a while.
I've never lived away from home, so it's going to be the same as usual, honestly, being at home. But I'm really, really happy that I'm not going to be on commute. This is a 1.5 to get down there and then a 1.5 back. So I'm usually on the subway for like 3 hours a day if I am going to school. And surprisingly, it takes a lot out of you. Like, in your day, you're just sitting, but it's a lot.
We've all lived in the city before. We know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you have like a desk in the subway that you just set up there and you start working on it? Shoo everyone out and you just like, get out of my study room.
No, I'm usually spaced out, but it was really bad for my concentration, honestly.
Oh, yeah, I'll bet. Oh, gosh. Maeva, what about you? How do you think it'll be like dealing with university students this year when Canada Create starts like doing new internships and stuff like that? Like, what will change?
We're still doing online placements for the internship. I don't know how it's gonna turn out because I will have to train them online and stuff like that. So hopefully it's gonna be good. Like, I can always like share my screen, explain it to them, but I feel like in person it's easier and I can create a real like bond with them in person bond. Like with you guys, right? Like we met in person and I interviewed with you guys in person. I could see like what kind of person you were during the interview. Then we obviously created some memories in the office too. Yeah, that kind of. But yeah, Sabrina, I've met her before too. So like I feel like kind of like connected, to you guys.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Oh, we love you too.
Yeah.
I always forget that I've known you guys longer, like via computer now than in person, which is still really weird.
I know. It was like, for me at least, like it was interviewed like the middle of January, right? And then it was like I actually started coming on in like the last like week and a half of the month. Was there all of February. Then like I think sort of the first like week of March. Then I had to leave on vacation. And then while I was gone, the entire freaking world ended. And since then, it's been nothing but seeing you guys on a computer screen. We're such a Brady bunch.
Oh, totally. Yeah, so that's why we're all together
have
in
all
squares.
The squares.
Yeah. That was so wholesome.
Yeah.
Do you think people are ready to do online schooling? Like, are you going to trust the people, or not online schooling, sorry. Just like, do you think people are ready to go back to school? Like, do you trust that things are going to go smoothly?
Of course not. When in 2020 has anything been going right? I don't even think. I think people are happy when things go mediocre. It's like, how was that? How was that like trip to visit friends? Oh, it was mediocre. Good, man. Yeah, you're really rising it up. Last week it was freaking terrible shitstorm of horrendousness. Now it's mediocre. I will take that. Thank you. Back to school is going to be weird as hell. Back to school is just going to be weird because it's like, I don't know. It was like in the old days, way back when, in the olden era of going to high school. I mean, the first week of back to school, of course, was, you dread it for so many different reasons. But in other ways, it was such a relief too, because if you were anything like me, you either saw far, far less or none of like your closest friends throughout the entire summer. They were always off at camp or on vacation or just doing other stuff that didn't involve you. But then you came back and there was almost like a social contract in order where you just have like the 5 or like 10 greatest stories from summer just ready to pounce on everyone else. And yeah, it was just so wholesome. It was just so beautiful. You were able to catch up on it and just really, really feel for it. But now it's hard to even imagine that happening within another year. And what hurts too is that when you finally like are able to meet up with people in person again and you're able to, like, what do you have to say? Like, oh, hey, glad you're still alive. Yeah, man, you too. Huh. This could have been worse. Yet another mediocre experience in our near future.
So bleak.
Yeah. Hey, 2020, baby.
Yeah. Oh God.
I don't think it's going to be like super different in my program, especially. I feel like people typically just want to do their own work by themselves. I mean, yeah, we make friends and whatever and whatnot, but in my experience, nobody really like wants to stick around and do a lot of group projects. The bane of our existence. So I'm hoping there aren't going to be like too many group projects in the upcoming semester, because that would be horrendous. Like having to do something completely online and like not scheduling something with each other, that would be really bad. But if we didn't have those kind of situations, I think it would mostly go over pretty smoothly.
Yeah, see, here's the thing that's just making me dread this upcoming semester is simply like, oh, lectures sound like fun. Like studying sounds like it's going to be fun. Even like tests themselves seem fun. But the second you hop into any ideas or any semblance of group work being done online, that's immediately when I get into like pistol into my head territory, because I'm like, what on earth is that going to be like? I hate doing like big, complex group projects with people when I'm actually in the same room with them. How on earth is it going to work where I don't even meet these people and I can't even properly like go right up into their face and be like, you better do this aspect of the project or we're screwed. And actually manage to, how am I going to get through all of that and maintain my sanity? I mean, whatever little bit of sanity actually is and is not going to begin with. There's not much. I think you guys know. So yeah, speaking of which, Sabrina, wait, I did mean to ask. You're in a business course. What was the exact title again?
It's business management, and my major would be the same as yours, which is marketing.
Yeah, like business. Yeah, mine just has a fancier term to it, business administration.
Ooh, business admin.
More syllables.
Pretty much management, except people will think you know like Latin or something. But yeah, like how much of your work is group projects? Because mine was flooded with them. In
first year, I didn't necessarily have a lot of group projects. And if I did have them, they were fairly easy. I would say I took...
Oh, right, you're still first year.
Yeah, I took like...
You kid? Oh my God, the things you have yet to see. Oh, get ready for third year and fourth year to be crazy.
I am not excited, but
if it's anything like the program I was in, they're gonna be like hitting you with group projects. No kidding, every single class, and they're going to be as awkward as you can imagine.
Yeah.
Like imagine how awkward it is. Right? Imagine awkwardness right now. Double that.
Imagine awkwardness.
That's like sort of the first group meeting. It's
right.
Awkward.
Right.
Like.
I'm expecting to see a lot more group projects because like business management, I'm guessing you have to do a lot of like team, I don't know, work.
Yeah.
So like managing people, such and such person, or like managing tasks.
The thing that I was trying to like push into you is that again, like, oh, it's a marketing or like, sorry, not a marketing program. It's like a business program. Like in almost any business environment, like you got to work with a team. You're almost never going to be like that, like just lone entrepreneur on their like computer, no matter how Steve Jobsy you might think that you are. You're always going to need to be working with other people. So make sure you know that by throwing you into this big pile of people that you never know and will never know again after the final project is submitted.
Right. I mean, with how much emphasis everybody always puts on networking in like business and all film as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I just have to, that's something I kind of have to get used to, but okay.
Everyone's become a little too reliant on just like messaging each other like far away, like IMing each other, like, and just like physical like meetup group work has become like so like little and like less and less and less and less important. Like like in high school, I remember like if there were group projects, like you were meeting in class, you were meeting after class, you were in the library, you were doing everything as a group. No, I like getting everyone's numbers, no. But then by the time it was like third year, fourth year university, a couple years down the line, WhatsApp was pretty much where like 95% of like the major decisions like any project were made together. And
also
maybe
Google
like,
Doc.
And Google Docs. Yeah. Everyone wrote like everything. Like I have to have written like something along the lines of like 1,000, like not kidding, 1,000 pages worth of like group work over like my 4 years at uni. thanks to Google Docs. And then if you want to keep counting stuff in Canada Create, then probably an extra now it's like 1,100 pages. It's insane.
Yeah, I think that's like, you can complain all you want about group projects, but it's one of those things where as long as you have the right people, like it's bearable. And I think like as you
But the
do
right
more
people
of
are
them,
hard to find.
that's very true too.
That's
But then
true.
also as you get like older or even just get more experience, like I think it becomes easier to, so when you have the wrong people, you just like have to learn how to communicate so that like the right thing happens. I don't know.
Yeah.
When I was at school, I remember there was this guy, because we had to team up with in a group of 3 people. So I was with this girl and another guy. So we met him during the first class, and we had to like prepare a promotion plan for like a product or something like that. And so we met him the first time, and then we never saw him again. So we were wondering what was happening with him. So we asked the professor. The professor checked with the administration, and actually the guy just like gave up on this course. And we only knew that like the week that we had to present everything.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
man.
God.
Yeah. So we were like, okay, well,
That's so bad to not give heads up.
yeah.
Oh yeah. That is just like, how long was this course total? Like, or like how long had he like been in the class before like he had dropped it?
I think he dropped it the first month.
Okay.
And
that's
the
bad.
first
But,
month,
yeah.
and like we tried to email him and stuff like that, but he never answered. So we were like, okay, well, I guess we have to present everything like only with 2 people.
Yeah, I have a kind of story like that, but on like steroids, if you want to hear.
Sure.
It was yet another group project. I don't even remember the exact name of the course. It was like marketing ventures, and then some kind of fun noun or verb behind it. And pretty much it was your very standard kind of project that we did many, many times before. You get in a group of like 5 or 6 people. You sort of come up with an idea for a business that can like have this unique kind of product. Like 9 times out of 10, it would be like some kind of new food design that you come up with. We got together in like the 3rd class, and it was truly just like a pile up of anyone who was left. It was just like 6 of us. We did not know each other.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh God. Anyway, things kind of went smoothly for a little while. Like we kind of came up with a concept. We kind of came up with some stuff. Yeah, it was. I remember what it was. It was an app. It was almost like a fancy kind of Uber Eats for like personalized like caterers and chefs, where like you go on this app, you like book these like chefs or caterers, and then they come and cook at your own house, or like you cook for parties and stuff. That was the whole thing. Wasn't the best idea, but God damn it, it was a New York marketing project. It'll do. So comes to be like, I don't know, like 2 weeks before, one of our 6 group members is like, sorry guys, I can't keep doing this class. Something happened with my grades. I got to drop out. Good luck. And we're like, okay, so there's 5 of us. Well, I guess we'll just have to make that work. We start doing a little bit of the project. Like you have to write like 20-page report or like a 25-page report and do a presentation. That was the whole thing. And the cool thing about this one is that you had to do a presentation, and the other students would rate all the groups. There were like 10 groups, and you get rated. And the people who get rated like in the top 3, you actually get like a little bit of an extra boost on your mark. Then it comes to be like a week before. We've only done like just started doing work, and we get in the same afternoon 2 messages from 2 other group members saying grades are not at a great point right now. We also have to drop out. So we almost have, and this is a gigantic project meant for 6 people, and it just got slashed in half. So this was terrifying because I needed this grade too. This was one of the last classes I really need to graduate and show off that diploma that came a few episodes ago. So finally, like we get to like writing hastily about this. The project itself becomes like really weird. We have no idea where to report it, and like there were all these crazy bits of studying. Pretty much the 3 days before were like 3 of the most stressful days I can remember in recent memory. It was terrible. It finally comes to be the day of the presentation. In the morning, me and one of the other group members are like finishing the written report itself. We haven't even started on the actual presentation. Not done the slides, not written anything, haven't even memorized it yet. So we're like, wow, best part. The third guy who was still in our group wasn't there yet. So I'm sending like 15 like angry as hell messages to him. Like, what the hell is going on, dude? Like he had said like a day or two before, like, I don't know if I'll be able to like show up for the class quite right. And I was like, you're going to show up to that goddamn class or I'm going to hunt you down with a crossbow. And yeah. So yeah, he's still not responding. Also like he had sort of like finally came to be like an hour before. We'd finished the written part, just starting to work on the presentation. And finally, guy number 3 messages us back. It's like a picture of like a hospital and it shows a Google Maps thing. It's where he was. The Google Maps shows he's about like 50 kilometers outside of the city. So we see that, we're like, I guess it's just us. So, the other guy. I feel so bad. I don't remember.
What happened? Where did he end up? Like, why was he at the
I have
hospital?
no idea. He had some kind of like scheduled appointment. Which, by the way, great job. Like, great. Your assistant's just fantastic. Like scheduling this big medical appointment on the day you're doing an official assigned presentation for one of your classes, bro. Like, it's ridiculous. So the other guy, the one other guy I have left, was, I don't remember his name. I'm just going to say the McLovin. So McLovin was going crazy. He's sort of like in that like moment where he's like in the corner, like truly like staring and like not knowing what to do. He's like, I don't know if I can do this, man. I don't know if I can do this. It's like, hey, get it together, McLovin. All right? You didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for this either. But God damn it, we are going up on that stage and we are pushing this weird Uber Eats chef thing to that entire class and we're gonna be beautiful. And he's like, okay. And he's like, okay, I gotta take the ropes here. Pretty much at that point we had written a little bit of script, but I'm like, at this point it's pointless, you know? You're not gonna memorize anything. I'm like, I'm gonna have to Jordan Belfort the shit out of this presentation. I'm gonna have to like just not like be unfazed, completely stand up and just sell this
pen.
life. Yeah, sell the pen. Thank you. Anyway, so go up on stage. I don't even remember what I said. You know what was funny though? I think I was wearing this shirt. Like this is my this is my like how you doing kind of shirt. So I go up on stage and I like everyone else had amazing presentations, by the way. They like quoted like freaking Shakespeare. They quoted, you know, like Albert Einstein for their scientific principles, like every crazy like statistical thing you could possibly think of. I had nothing. And I pretty much was just like, hey, how would you like the at-home cooking experience of your entire life to happen? Because this is how you're going to get it. I pretty much do that for about 10 minutes. And then you're open up to questions. And that's usually where other people like got really hit by it. But everyone else was like, for me, I somehow got really good, like simple questions by the end of it. It was just like, so do the chefs like come to your house? Or it was like, oh no, you do this. And yeah, it works out. Everyone liked it. Long story short, presentation finished off. We wound up being voted the 3rd best presentation of the entire set of 10 groups.
Oh,
Nice.
And it was like the most duct taped together presentation I've ever done in my entire life. I was like, Jesus Christ. No wonder Leo DiCaprio was able to make like $50 million a year as Jordan Belfort. Of course, this fucking works. People will believe anything if you yell it enough at them in a nice shirt. To be fair, the professor kind of saw through a lot of our BS and it kind of got like mentioned in our grade later on. But like I had already talked with the professor and he was like, wait, 3 people dropped out right at the end. Yeah. Don't worry, you'll get like a little bit of a boost. I think we got like a little, like a sort of like a courtesy, like 5 or 10% added onto our grade.
Yeah. So like you and McLovin were the only ones who got grades on it. Everyone else was like, no.
Oh no. Here's the best part. So we say goodbye to each other. We sort of like give each other a both celebratory and also like consoling hug as we go away. It's like, great job, man.
Lives through it.
I feel your pain. Don't let this haunt you forever. We leave. I'm taking the subway ride home. I'm like it's like 20 minutes, like 30 minutes after. And guy number 3 messages us going, so how'd it go? And if there was a way to like punch someone through your phone, I would have done it right then and there. Instead, I was just like, like I did like the nicest way of saying like, you screwed up, man. I was like, you really like let us down. Like, don't do that, man. So he pretty much got the same marks as us, but you know, what can you do? Anyway, that's my most terrifying story. I hope that wasn't like completely annoying for you guys?
It most likely means that because of like all the online schooling and all of this, like Sabrina should not be going through any kind of group project, but it's not that bad, at least this year. It's
I
good.
don't know, man.
The only downer though is that like, I mean, some things like group projects like might be neutralized or might be altered, but like, were any of you guys like wanting to do any extracurriculars when you went to school or like join any clubs? Like, do you think that's going to change,
Oh,
or
yeah.
were you doing that, and like what's changed?
During first year, I think this is also one of the biggest mistakes I ever like made, like going into university. But I didn't seek out student groups right away because I was like, oh, I'll just like, you know, take the first year to feel everything out, just to like take my time and like whatever and whatnot. But that's probably one of the worst things you could do, because there's a lot of opportunities that are meant specifically for first years that they are marketed like 2-year phase essentially. But I didn't take them, and I don't know why I didn't take them at the time. But I really wanted to go back into theater and just like apply to be either like you know, a side actor or like a person behind the stage and like working on something.
Yeah,
I just wanted to go back into theater because it's been so long since I've done it, and I really missed it. I really miss like performing and such and so forth. But everything is canceled, and for now, and I don't even know if auditions are being like held. So I'm following the Instagrams, and I'm like hoping like maybe something will pop up like later on, but that's kind of the situation for now.
Yeah, no, definitely do that. I did a lot of theater stuff in first year, and then like things started to get a little bit more like topsy-turvy, a lot like really heavy and crazy with work. Then finally I hopped back into theater like on my last semester, because I was like, I'm doing 3 classes. Like I can fit in some extra time for like performing arts again. And by then I met a lot of great people in my program, like met a lot of good friends there. Like I pretty much like, you know, it's almost impossible to do like a big theater program without meeting a lot of cool new people. But the thing I noticed is that while I was gone for like a couple of years, there were like people I knew or like people I kind of knew who had formed just such a solid bond. Like everyone there was so like unique and just funny and cool, and they all knew each other really well. And there I was, like the outsider who had only just hopped back in a lot of ways. Like, you know, there was no way to truly be you could know them, but you'd never be quite as like matched because you'd been gone for so long. So definitely do that. If you have a passion for it, do it. Even if you don't, go in. You'll make a lot of great new friends.
What elements of like post-pandemic schooling do you think will stick around, if anything?
I think we touched upon this before, but the whole like not meeting in person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, group work is it's really hard to meet up already, but now that if it's proven to people that we can do a group project like completely online, people are just going to continue to do that.
Yeah, the big thing about like any trends that have started in COVID is that the trends that are going to stick around are the trends that in a lot of ways were already there to begin with. You know, online buying, Zoom chats, and also like working more and more from home. Those are things that definitely have been accelerated thanks to COVID, but they were already there definitely before.
That's true.
But I think in-person classes and just general textbooks and just actually going to a school are not going to go anywhere. Not for at least another good couple of decades, fingers crossed. But I'm definitely right with Team Sabrina on this one, where people are going to be more and more comfortable with almost never meeting their group members and just doing all their work remotely. Exhibit A.
I also think just for online opportunities and stuff like that, for people who maybe have like disabilities or people who thrive better in like more homeschooled environments, things like that. Like I think that will kind of
entire generation.
Yeah, it'll normalize it a little more though. That's the thing.
Yeah. Because
before, like, it didn't feel like an option, but then now maybe if someone is like struggling extra, and like their parents are like, okay, maybe if I like put them in homeschool or whatever, like that might be better. Or again, like someone who can't really make the trek all the way to school, they'll have like the resources on hand, because now we've proven that like it's a viable and sustainable like solution for those who need it. So I do like that element of that for pandemic schooling.
Yeah.
People are definitely going to be more comfortable doing it too. Like, I know a lot of people are worried, like if they aren't like physically in school, they don't have a professor to like really communicate with. But so far the professors have been really good in like communicating online.
Mm-hmm.
So it would help a lot of students who would prefer that method or only have that or only have access to that method.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I'm also curious to see how long it takes for like probably for like obviously like elementary school, high schools kind of thing. But I'm curious to see how long it'll take them to like add masks to the uniforms. I think that will also be like a permanent thing. With, like,
I mean, it
school
might always,
colors.
it may now be like a permanent like accessory of
Yeah.
school and also just like the nurse's office, but
Yeah.
I don't know if there's gonna be like Gap or Nike commercials anytime soon of like guys like strutting around with masks on.
Mm.
You never know. Actually, now I'm kind of like, maybe.
Ariana's just thinking, wow, that'd be so hot.
So this wraps up our back to school episode and our third season of Tiny Table Talks. We've had a lot of fun talking with each other and sharing our opinions with you. If you haven't already, follow us on Instagram at the CC Zone and look up our past episodes on Spotify and YouTube. We hope to see you soon in future seasons, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
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 We'll miss you guys.
Yay.
Stay safe, stay cool. Don't
Stay
forget to
in
be awesome.
school.
Yeah, if you want to.